You want to smoke a cigar? I want to smoke a cigar. And I got this little sin compromiso right here. Gideon over here wanting to smoke a cigar too. Gideon, go on. So, as you can see, we're not in the studio because I want to talk to you about a good friend of mine through this whole hurricane storm. That's Mr. Steele right there, right? Went to the hardware store the day after the hurricane hit. Snatched me up a nice big old steel chainsaw. Got me some pretty gloves and came with a free steel hat. Right? Fancy, right? That thing was so important to me being able to take care of the family and help others in the community. Speaking of taking care of the family, we're outside the shop where I am Ryobi decked. Probably got 30, 40 battery Ryobi tools. Like any good feller, I'm hoarding batteries. I had a dozen batteries. I had all those Ryobi things. I had some fans. I had some lights. I had some chargers that you could actually plug in and charge your phone with. And everything was charged because the battery ain't no good if it's empty, right? So everything was charged and ready to go. And so when the power went out, we had power. Then we could finally get to Steven because he didn't have power. We sent them home with some fans and some flashlights and lights so they could keep going until they got a generator. Gracie was good with her stuff. Power's out a little bit, but she had all her stuff set up. Those things were important for the storm. Boy, I tell you what. I was caught back on my heels without having a chainsaw. I had a Craftsman chainsaw, but I ain't used it in probably 5, 10 years. I know I got to turn in my redneck card, but I hadn't. And that joker was going to be no good whatsoever with the trees we were coming at. And so me and the first lady decided we were going to go get us a steel saw. We didn't get one, we got two. We ended up leaving one with Chief so that he could do what he needed to do. And so I got my saw, and then first lady's got her littler saw. Pretty still nice steel saw. She didn't get a hat, but she don't wear hats. But we had to go hog out Stevens Road. He's at the end of a cul-de-sac. We had to cut out four or five strands of trees. We needed to run out to the main roads, cut some of that up so they could get out, cleared some roads. Went to Gracie's apartment complex and cleared up some trees out of the parking area so she could have parking. Went to First Lady's place where she does her horse riding and cut up some trees off some fences. Big old hawking trees. Boy, that saw did a great job. Hardware store when we got there started off with, I don't know, 10, 12, 15 chainsaws. By the time we went back to get some borrow the next day, it was all gone. Well, I was standing there, probably 6 or 7, I went out the door. Right? What? We good now. We got us some saws. That blade is nice and sharp, and that chain's nice and tight. Got some oil, got some gas. I'm ready to go. These things were very important to getting through well the storm. We were able to cut out whatever needed to be did. We were also able to maintain by having the batteries and the power off the stuff to get us through. We had canned food, we had this and that and all that. So we're pretty set. And all those things are important. But I got to tell you, it was something else I had going through all this. That if that was the only thing I had, it would be enough. I trade everything else I had in my preparation for this one thing. Now, I know you're asking, what's that one thing, Bob? You're talking slow. Just tell us. It's family. I'm so proud of my family. We all came together without even a thought. We didn't stop working till the work was done. We took care of each other. Then we took care of others. That's important. when we were cutting the trees to get Steven out of his area, Gracie ran over there with her two kids, Macy and Caden. Steven was there with Shanny Jade and Jackson, Amber, and Shepherd. Macy, Amber, Jackson, Caden, all of them jumped in, started dragging branches. All of them just getting it. Even little old Amber. Shepherd, not so much. Shepherd, a little bit too small for that, but he was all right. Gracie got her hands in it. First Lady got her hands in it. Shanny Jade was wrangling kids and moving some branches. Once we cut them out, we went down the road a little bit to clear some property, or clear some road. Me and Chief got on saws. And Gracie got out on one end, started directing traffic. First Lady got on the other end, started directing traffic, keeping us safe, getting traffic moving, because you could get around halfway, one lane, but you couldn't see. Shanny Jade, she got in the back of the truck with all the kids and made sure that none of the kids got in the middle of traffic, because we were out there in the middle of the road. Everybody just jumped in and did their job. It was such a blessing. Then we went the next day to cut down some trees at the horse ranch. And Caitlin and Macy and Caden showed up. And we got to work. First Lady was there. We got to work cutting down some monster trees. I mean, bigger around than me and two others. And they were laying one on top of the other, on top of the other, on top of the other. So it was a mess. We were in there pretty hard. And everybody did their job. I definitely would not trade them for any survival resource ever. I'm very proud of who they are and what they've done. Chief went on to help a church family cut up some trees off their property. I don't know if it was on their house or not. And he was willing to do some more. While we were there at Chief's house, we went over to a neighbor's house, and she needed some branches cut up. We cut them up real quick. It was sad to me to think of the people that probably didn't help. Came across some neighbors in Chief's cul-de-sac. And they had a crew of guys, chainsaws and all. And they cut the trees that were stopping their driveway. They didn't go no farther. They didn't go down to help. They just sat out on the porch and watched us. And I don't fault them that much for that. I do a little bit, I guess. But then they came out and they said, hey, you mind not putting that branches over in our area, because we got to have somebody come pick that up. We don't want to have to pick up anything else. Well, that just wasn't neighborly. We were in Kentucky this weekend, me, Chief, and the First Lady. And supplies are scarce down here for North Carolina and South Carolina, because a lot of people are devastated. We had a little bit of inconvenience. I had some trees down. Fence got busted. My little garage covering my restoration truck got busted. But there are people who don't have nothing but foundations anymore, and you can't get to them. Roads are all gone. You've seen it. You've seen the videos. You've seen the media. So resources are scarce. So while we're up there in Kentucky, First Lady went up to Walmart, and some people donated some money. And she went up, and I went with her, and we picked up a bunch of camp stoves, a bunch of lights, all that stuff. She's heading up to deliver that to a low. She's gotten with a group. She's going to go pick that up, deliver it to some area up the mountain a little ways, and then they're going to take it further on in. I'm proud of my family. I'm proud of each and every one of them. All finding ways to help and give back. That's important. And I found myself giving back, but then I came to a point to where I'm like, you know what? I done gave enough. I did my part. Somebody else can do the rest. My family wasn't that way. They're still giving. They're still doing. They're still making a difference. And I said, well, all right. So I'm more proud of my family than I am of myself. This is going to be a long, drawn out process. There's a lot of people who got a lot of need. And so I need to figure out what I need to do to continue to give back. Whether that's do a raffle, raise some money, or be willing to take a day off and go help somebody. Because now we got power on. Family came out. We raked the yard. We cut up the trees. It looks like, other than my fence and my truck, looks like nothing ever happened. You drive down the roads, and there's still trees all over the place, but it looks like life is still going on. But for some people, it's not. So, when is giving enough enough? That's a question I ask myself. Now, I can make excuses. Well, I'm working a lot. I need time for me. Somebody else ought to do that. Maybe. But maybe I ought to do more. I still got a roof over my head. I got power. I got food. I got a chainsaw. So there's a storm coming. Well, it's here now. I'm shooting this on Wednesday. It's Sunday. That storm's hit Florida. Looks like a gully washer. That looks like a mess. There's going to be people be in need there. I pray that if you're not affected, you take the opportunity to help out. If you can't personally help out, prayers work, money works. Find an organization that you've vetted that is doing the right things. Help them out. If you're in the storm, I pray that you're safe. And pray that you, as they say, hunker down or get out. So, that's it. I just want to tell you my story about how proud I am of my family. And I want to show you myself. I missed using a chainsaw. Boy, my shoulder didn't 2 days later, but other than that, I missed using a chainsaw. That was all right. And I really enjoyed sitting there watching my family just jump in and get it did. I did my heart good. I tell this story to everybody who will listen because I am proud of my family. Out of all the things I would need in a crisis, I trade it all for them. I would. I love them a lot. I'm proud of them. I love you too. I'll see you later. Later, Tater.